91.7 WNECFM in Henniker, and you just got yourself a huge set of Joe Giacoyo there as we were goofing around here. But Rik Palieri is here, and he's visiting and on his way to Massachusetts. And we're just going to launch right into something here for you.
You ready there, Jonathan?
Yeah.
All right. Ready?
Very nice.
All right, Jonathan. Not bad. Playing that old... It looks almost like a Gibson-type mandolin there.
It's a wannabe Gibson.
It's a wannabe Gibson. Well, you know, it's always fun to play an old song like the old Joe Clark. I can remember the first time I learned that song. You know, I started learning to play the banjo when I was 15 years old, and I lived in New Jersey. And at that time, there weren't a lot of banjo players in that area. But a little bit later on, quite a few people started picking up the banjo. But when I started playing, there weren't a lot of people playing back then. It was only the Pete Seeger How to Play the Five-String Banjo book and, getting a few records and trying to figure out what was going on. So I had heard about this place down in the Pine Barrens in New Jersey. Now, the Pine Barrens sit down in the southern part of New Jersey. It's a pretty remote area where they have these folks they call the Pineys who live out there, almost sort of like hillbillies. The first time that I went down there, I hitchhiked with a friend, and we went into this music store, and we were saying we wanted to go to this place in the Pine Barrens where there was a cabin called Albert's Cabin. The guy who ran the music store said, "Oh, I'll take you. I'm going there tonight. Just come along with me." So we hopped in his car. Didn't know him from Adam, just jumped in his car, started riding away. All of a sudden, we noticed we took a wrong turn down a one-way street, and we're traveling now in the woods. And the further we got in, I started getting worried because all of a sudden I noticed that the road was getting pretty bumpy, and we stopped at this one place, and it was a big tree, and there was like Maytag dryers all abandoned and TV sets up in the trees, and I said, well, I guess this guy's going to kill us. But it turned out that this was the way to Albert's cabin. And when we got there was a huge crowd of people all around this old cabin, and one of them was an old banjo player named Sam Hunt. He was probably at that time in his late 70s. And Sam had this homemade banjo, and he was playing that song, that old Joe Clark. And I had never heard it before, never heard anybody play it. And it just thrilled me to hear the sound of that song. And old Sam, he said, "Don't you know that song, the old Joe Clark?" He says, "It's time to learn it if you don't know it." We sat down there for the whole night, and he showed me how most of the notes are just slid right down on the banjo, just sliding that. And for the whole night, I just practiced and practiced until that song became part of my, almost an extra part of my limbs because I've been playing it for so long. but you never get tired of playing a song like that song or Cripple Creek. Cripple Creek is a song I say is the sort of shaking hands musician song. If you travel all over the world, it doesn't matter. You know, if you can speak the same language, if another person has a banjo, you'll be able to play Cripple Creek together. So it's sort of the getting to know you song. How about yourself? Have you been playing that mandolin for quite a while?
Well, whenever I get a chance, I try and pick it up. But I'm pretty much, I don't know much about music as far as playing it. I just pick it up and play along whenever I get a chance. So I know a lot of parts of songs, but I often don't know what I'm playing.
Well, that's no problem. You know, sometimes that's the best way to learn is just to go blindly into it. If you think about it.
That's me.
You know, you can get all kinds of stymied, I guess is the word. You know, you start worrying about what you can't do. And I've been playing this banjo most of my life. It's been a constant companion no matter where I've been. When I lived over in Poland, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, you know, I carried this thing up and down all the hills in the old country. I couldn't speak a word of Polish back then, and my banjo was almost like a passport. It didn't matter if I could speak the language. If I could play some songs, that would be a good way to get together. Let's see if we can pick just another quick tune together. Do you know that old Cripple Creek?
I could try.
Let's see if we can do that one. We'll do it briskly. I'm in love with Ida Red. Eyes are red, eyes are blue. I'm in love with Ida too. Ida Red lives downtown, weighs 340 pounds. Ida Red, I'm in love with Ida Red.